Have you ever felt lost in an English class? Like the teacher is speaking a completely different language, and all you can do is nod and hope no one asks you a question. That was me. Or maybe you've tried to have a conversation in English, but the words just won't come out, and you feel stuck. I've been there too. But what if I told you that improving your listening and speaking doesn't have to feel impossible? It's all about starting small and learning step by step. Hi, my name's Anna, and I'm here to share my story. I'm not a natural English learner. In fact, I've struggled a lot. I used to feel nervous speaking and frustrated when I couldn't understand simple conversations. But here's the good news. I found a way to improve my listening and speaking. And it wasn't about being perfect. It was about taking small, practical steps. By the end of this story, you'll learn how I started with simple sentences to build my confidence, the speaking and listening exercises that worked for me, how I turned embarrassing mistakes into learning opportunities. If you're just starting your English learning journey, this story is for you. Let's get started. I remember my first English class like it was yesterday. My teacher, Mr. Green, played a recording of a conversation. Hi, Sarah. How are you? I'm good, thanks. How about you? The voices were fast and cheerful. I could understand some of the words, but by the time I figured out what they said, the recording had already moved on. Anna, Mr. Green said, "Can you tell us what they talked about?" My heart raced. I looked at my notebook, where I'd written random words. Hi, good, thanks. But I didn't know how they connected. They are talking? I said hesitantly. What are they talking about? He asked gently. I think they are happy. The class chuckled, and my cheeks burned. That day, I told myself, I'll never get this. English listening is just too hard. At home, I decided to take a different approach. Instead of diving into long recordings, I started with something simple, children's books. One day, I found a book called The Cat is Sleeping. It had short, easy sentences like, the cat is sleeping, the sun is shining, the bird is singing. I read the first sentence out loud. The cat is sleeping. It felt strange, but for the first time, I could understand the words. The next day, I brought the book to class. Mr. Green, I said, can I read this for practice? He smiled. Of course, Anna. Why don't you read it to the class? I stood up, my hands shaking, and read slowly. The sun is shining. Great job. Mr. Green said. Now, try saying it faster, like you're telling a friend. I repeated, the sun is shining. That's perfect, he said. With more confidence, I started listening to short English conversations online. One day, I found a video called Ordering Food at a Restaurant. It went like this. Waiter, hi, what can I get for you today? Customer, I'll have a coffee and a sandwich, please. I paused the video and repeated the sentences. Hi, what can I get for you today? I'll have a coffee and a sandwich. Please. At first, my pronunciation was slow, but I practiced saying the words naturally. The next week in class, Mr. Green asked us to role-play ordering food. I paired up with my friend Sarah. Hi, what can I get for you today? Sarah said, pretending to be the waiter. I'll have, a coffee and sandwich. Please, I said. That's great. Sarah said, let's switch. You're the waiter now. By the end of the activity, I felt more comfortable speaking complete sentences. As I practiced speaking, I also worked on my listening. Instead of trying to understand everything at once, I focused on one sentence at a time. I found a short podcast for beginners. The first sentence was, today, we're going to talk about travel. I paused the audio and repeated it. Today, we're going to talk about travel. Then I wrote it down and listened again. The next sentence was, travel is a great way to learn about new cultures. I paused and repeated, travel is a great way to learn about new cultures. At first, it was slow, but I started to notice patterns. Words like going to sounded like gonna, and want to sounded like wanna. Eventually, I joined an online language exchange group. My first session was scary. I logged in and introduced myself. Hi, my name is Anna. I am learning English. Hi, Anna. One person said, where are you from? I am from Poland. I said hesitantly, that's great. Why are you learning English? They asked. I want to talk to people and travel. I replied slowly. Awesome. You're doing really well, they said. Each conversation was a little easier, and I learned new phrases every time. Months later, I had my first real breakthrough. Mr. Green asked us to prepare a short presentation in English. Anna, he said, you can talk about anything you like, your favorite book, a hobby, or a place you want to visit. I chose to talk about Paris. I practiced at home, standing in front of a mirror. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about my favorite city, Paris. On presentation day, I stood in front of the class, nervous but prepared. Good morning. I began. Today, I want to talk about Paris. Paris is a beautiful city in France. It is famous for the Eiffel Tower and delicious food. It wasn't perfect. I forgot a few words and stumbled once, but when I finished, the class clapped. If you're just starting to learn English, here's what I recommend. 1. Start with simple sentences. Read aloud, just like I did with, the cat is sleeping. 2. Practice speaking every day. Try role-playing conversations, like ordering food, or introducing yourself. 3. Listen actively. Pause short recordings, and repeat sentences. Focus on one sentence at a time. 4. Join a group. Real conversations are the best way to practice listening and speaking. So, Here's my question for you. Have you ever felt stuck, like you'll never get better at English? If you have, I want you to know, it's not the end, it's just the beginning. Start small. Focus on one step at a time. Celebrate every little win. And most importantly, don't give up. Because one day, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come, just like I did. Now it's your turn. What's your story? Let's celebrate this journey together.